Hey guys, we are Drake and Denise Real Estate. We are a husband and wife real estate team here in beautiful San Diego. We are super excited to be sharing with you our newest video. We're going to be sharing with you the pros and cons of living in Ramona.
Yes, we live in Ramona and we absolutely love it, but there are a few things we wish we could change or improve. If you haven't already, we appreciate you coming to our channel, but we ask you to please subscribe. Hit that like button, leave a comment below, and hit that little notification bell to be reminded every time we have a new video. We really appreciate the support and are looking forward to bringing you great content every single week. Welcome back. As we mentioned, we are going to be doing the video based on pros and cons of living in Ramona today. We have put together 5 of our top pros and top 5 cons of what it's like to live in Ramona and what we could change if we could. Want to get it started?
Yes. I am going to be talking about the amenities. We have a lot of amenities in Ramona, so that's going to be my number 1. But at the very top of my list, I have wineries. I am so happy.
Weird.
I am so happy that we have wineries out here and we have good wine and don't have to drive all the way to Temecula for a glass of wine. So I'm happy about that. I like that. And we also have hiking, we have mountain biking, we have equestrian communities out here, we have equestrian trails. If you go to the community of the San Diego Country Estates, every home behind their property has an equestrian trail. So if you have horses, you could just ride your horse, you know, in this community.
Right out of the yard.
Right out of the yard. We have a spa in Ramona, or a few spas in Ramona, a few coffee shops that have amazing coffee. And I know this next one is not an amenity, but I love the fact that, I have to mention it, I love the fact that we have an egg ranch out here in Ramona. So we don't have to go to the grocery store to get our eggs. We just go to the egg farm and pick up some eggs.
Man, have you changed?
Yeah.
She used to go to Trader Joe's and go buy her eggs, and now she's getting flats from the egg ranch.
And I'm always excited to do it. But anyways, okay, so that was my number 1. And again, that's amenities, or the fact that we have a lot of amenities in Ramona.
My first pro, and not necessarily in this order, is that Ramona is a small town. So it kind of has that small town feel, and it's very tight niche, where just the people are really amazing. Like, they're just always willing to help. It just has that kind of, you know, close home feeling that Ramona has. I really enjoy living here, and you know, I've always enjoyed being on the outskirts and just being more, you know, away from things and people and stuff like that. But Ramona just makes it, you know, easy to feel comfortable up here because it is such a little small town, and there's so many activities that everybody, you know, provides out here. With, you know, during the holidays, you got Easter egg hunts, you got 4th of July parades and things like that that the community offers. And we live in the San Diego Country Estate, so there's always something going on. But I really enjoy that it does have that small town feel. I mean, you drive down Main Street and looking at the buildings, they look like old Western buildings, and there's antique shops and things like that. So for me, one of the pros is definitely that it's a small town, and it does have that small town feel.
Okay, so my second pro is gonna have to be that I believe we are still close to everything. A lot of people, when we tell them that we live in Ramona, they think we live far away and that it takes forever to get here, but I honestly don't feel like that. We are an hour away from the beaches, an hour away from Little Italy, an hour away.
She goes. That's her spot right there, Little Italy.
I love Little Italy. We are an hour away from Mexico, 40 minutes from Julian, so I feel that we're still very close to everything. We don't mind driving, we like the driving, so maybe that's why it seems like everything's still so close to us.
That's why I'm shaped like a car seat.
So my number 2 is the fact that I feel that we are still close to everything.
My number 2 is that Ramona still offers a great value. Opposed to some of the other surrounding areas, you can still get a really nice home for $650,000. You go down to Poway or parts of Escondido or even East County and Alpine areas like that, a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 1,600 square feet is going to run you $800, $850. In Ramona, you can get it for $650 on half acre in the San Diego Country Estates, which is a great community. So it still offers a lot of value for families that are looking to move up here and either buy their first home or transition into something where they have a little bit more space. You get a lot more for your money up here, I think.
Okay, so my third pro is gonna have to be wildlife. I love that we have wildlife out here. I love that we have owls and we have coyotes and we have bobcats. I love having my coffee in the morning in the backyard and you see quail walking around. You see owls out there, which by the way, we saved an owl a few weeks ago. He had a broken wing.
We captured it.
Yes, we captured it and took him in to get help, so he got a cast on him. But I love that. I love that we have wildlife out here. It's just, you wake up, you hear the birds, and it's just nice.
It is pretty cool. I was out feeding our turtle, Mr. T, and a coyote ran probably 7 feet behind me and looked at me like I was doing something and turned around and I just like, whoa, it's kind of scared the crap out of me. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of cool, and there's even deer and stuff out here too that you see occasionally. So it's pretty cool. My third pro is going to have to be the outdoor activities. As Denise has mentioned, there's just a lot to do up here. If you like the outdoors, you've got hiking, you got mountain biking. In our community here in the San Diego Country Estates, it is an equestrian community as well as a golf community. So you have horse trails all over the place, as she had mentioned, but there's also the country club and the golf course, which, it's literally a 5-minute drive from our house. You're at the driving range or you're on the golf course playing. I've got some buddies here in the neighborhood that we go play golf together and hop in their golf cart and, or when we had ours, just drive it straight from the driveway onto the golf course. It was pretty cool. So, but there's just so much. I mean, you've got Barnett Preserve, which is, hiking trails that was donated. And there's Devil's Punch Bowl, or Cedar Falls. There's just so many things around here outdoor wise that, realistically you can always have something to do. We have friends that live out in Verona Mesa that we go shooting out there on their property. Sometimes we even camp because they have an amazing view of like El Capitan and Cuyamaca Mountains and stuff like that. So I really love being that you have that outdoor activities up here for sure.
My fourth pro is that we have great neighbors, we have great people that live in this community, and we haven't had a bad experience with any of the people that we've met, and I just love that. I do want to say that we did have one bad experience last year. It was on Halloween. We were in La Jolla, we were having a nice dinner, and we started getting notifications. Somebody was at our door, and it was
more funny than bad, I think.
It was funny, but it was sad for the rest of the kids.
Yeah.
So somebody came to the door and took all of our candy. Just took all of our candy and then flipped us off.
Well, we were smart enough to leave the whole bucket on the damn front porch and say, take one, thinking like every kid's going to have integrity and do that.
So we unfortunately, like I said, we weren't home, so every kid after that was not able to get a candy from us. Yes.
Yeah.
So that, Oh, great people, great people. That little boy, the two little boys were probably not from here. So.
Yeah, they were busted in. Oh, that's funny.
Okay, so that was my
Your
fourth. Great people.
My fourth pro is going to be a stealing from her list is the wineries. There is so many good wineries up here. There's probably 33 to 35 wineries here in Ramona now. And all of them are great. I mean, we've enjoyed quite a few of them. We've taken clients to them. We've taken family and friends. And there's not a bad one in the bunch. One that I like in particular, not necessarily Ramona, I think it's Escondido, but it's called Cordiano. They make their own pizza, and I love pizza. Breadsticks, everything like that. Plus you have the views of all the San Pasqual Valley along with this safari park and stuff like that. So that one's probably one of my favorites as well. But yeah, lots of wineries up here, vineyards to choose from, and all of them are great.
Okay, my fifth is affordable homes. I know that Drake already mentioned it, but I agree with him 100%. Homes,
That's a first.
Homes here in Ramona do tend to be a little bit less expensive than Poway or other areas that surround us. And I mean, I like that. We have properties that are on larger parcels, and every home is different. There's, at least in the community that we live in, every home is a custom home. So I really like that. There are 22 communities in Ramona, and I just wanted to share with you guys what the median price was what was it, yesterday? I just ran the numbers yesterday, and the median price in Ramona for single family residence is $769, and it is October 2022. I also wanted to share with you guys that there are currently 86 active listings, 36 pending listings, and we closed 30, not us, but there was 33 closed sales in Ramona for the month of September. So that was something a little bit extra that I just wanted to share with you guys.
And so there's definitely more inventory coming on the market right now, which is giving more families opportunities to move into these neighborhoods and stuff like that, which not that long ago there wasn't anything.
There was
nothing. Like 8 homes on the market in this community, and you know, people were fighting to get in here literally. So
yes.
That's a good one for sure.
So that was my fifth pro.
My fifth pro is going to be that it is a safe community. There is a lot of law enforcement and military and first responders that live up here, and it just it's nice to drive through the neighborhood and see, you know, sheriff cars parked in the driveway and highway patrol and stuff like that, because, you know, we are in a rural area, but it still gives you that sense of safety that you have, you know, those type of neighbors that are, you know, up here and that also are, you know, part of the community as well. And, you know, when it comes to like trick-or-treating and stuff like that, it's definitely a little safer. You don't have to worry about, you know, cars blazing by or, you know, what they're doing to the candy and stuff like that. You don't really have to worry about that stuff. It's a really family-oriented community, and especially during those times, you know, it really kind of gives you that sense of comfort that, you know, your kids are going to be safe out there doing their trick-or-treating and stuff. The next would be our top 5 cons, and we'll go ahead and let you start it. But first, if you haven't already, as always, we ask you to subscribe to this channel. We definitely appreciate all your support. We're excited to put these videos together. It's a great learning experience for us, and to be able to put content out there and hopefully provide value for you within the real estate field, we're just excited to provide that for you. So please subscribe, comment, like, and hit that notification bell.
Okay, so my very first con has to be the heat. I do not like the heat. And it can get really hot up here. Just last month, it got up to 107. That is a little too hot for me. I don't like the heat. I get really tired and it drains me, and I am just fatigued. So that has to be my number 1 for my con.
Yeah, I didn't look at her paper, I promise, but that was my first con as well. You know, as Denise had mentioned, it does get hot up here during the summer. The rest of the year is beautiful. I mean, Ramona really has a nice climate. It's pretty consistent.
Yes,
it does get cold in the winters. I mean, there's been times when I've gone out to fill the water bowl for our dog, and the remaining water has been frozen in the bowl. So it definitely gets cold. But during the summer, it gets hot, it gets dry, she does not do well in the heat. She just shuts down and wants to go take a nap. So it definitely is, something to be concerned of, because it's hard to get out of it unless you got a pool. And we have a couple community pools in the neighborhood, and we've got friends that have pools as well. So there's always a way to get out of it. But the heat definitely plays a part. And with the heat comes fires. And we are in a severe fire zone here in Ramona, so you have to take that in consideration as well. Because of the ruralness and the open land, there's a lot of fuel to burn when there is a fire, and it gets, difficult to put it out. But the other thing that goes along with that is trying to get insurance. You have the fire season, you got, 03, 07, those times we had the fires, it really hurt a lot of the insurance companies. So a lot of insurance companies don't even carry policies in this area anymore. So you have to have a good broker that can source out, fire insurance for you. And it's usually a little more expensive up here. And in some cases, if you have to do the Cal Fair plan, you're going to have two policies. You'll have a homeowner's insurance policy and then a fire insurance policy as well. So definitely something to consider. And if you're thinking of moving up here, make sure that you're aware of, who can carry insurance for you as well.
He just took like 3 of mine. But
overachiever.
So I don't know, I'm confused. So what was your con?
It's hot, but because it's hot, it starts fires, and because of the fires, you have trouble getting insurance.
Okay, so we're
simple.
Okay, so I'm on my second con, and that would be that we cannot leave small animals outside. We live in a community that has wildlife, like I mentioned earlier, and I love that we have that. But at the same time, it's a risk with small animals. You cannot leave your small pets outside because a coyote will get to it, or a hawk will get to it, or an owl will get to it. So even if you have a fenced property, the birds will get to it. So if you have small animals, do not leave them outside. Unattended, yes. But what happened recently?
Yeah. So there was a lady at the Barnett Preserve walking with her dog, and I guess a couple coyotes came and basically knocked her down, attacked her, knocked her down, and took her dog. And all she could do was listen to the dog squealing away as the coyotes took him away. So I can imagine that would be pretty traumatizing. So just be considerate of that as well, or conscientious anyways, and it's definitely something that happens.
Yeah. So that's my second con. Do not leave your small pets outside.
I have my second con is going to be the wind. There's certain times of the year up here that it gets super windy, and we'll have gusts of winds that are strong enough to rip shingles off your roof and knock down trees and everything else. And that's something that I think is a con, because it's consistent. Where we live is kind of like around this little mountain range where the wind just kind of whips around, and in areas like, for us, fortunately, our community is a little newer, I guess. So it has, all the power is underground, where some of the outskirt areas and like where our friends live up in Verona Mesa, they've got power lines and stuff. So this power company shuts the power off. And in some cases, the last time they did it for like 4 days, and their property is on well, so they aren't able to work their well pump to pump water. And fortunately they have a generator set up and stuff, but for those people that don't, for 4 days, that's a tough time frame to go without water and power, and making sure that your food's staying good and stuff like that. So the winds get pretty brutal up here. We've had to have repairs to our roof done because shingles were peeled off, and then even on my motorhome, I had a time where it ripped part of the roof of the motorhome off, and I had to have that refastened. So they definitely get pretty high winds up here.
I agree. Okay, so my third con is going to be fire insurance. I know that Drake talked a little bit about fires, and who knows what else he added on there. But fire insurance is more expensive out here, just because we have fires. We're in inland, so we tend to have more fires, which means higher insurance. And a lot of times the insurance companies will not insure you unless you have the FAIR plan. So keep that in mind. It could be a little bit more expensive for fire insurance.
Absolutely.
That was my third con.
And my third is actually the same as my first pro. It just has to go back to being a small town. There's there's so many great things about this little community that you love, but the few things that are either challenging or wish you could improve on, it just has to do with being a small town and not having, you know, I don't want to say the infrastructure, but we don't have the big box stores. We don't have the Home Depot, the Costco, the Target, stuff like that. And if you want to go to a nice, you know, more of an upscale restaurant or something like that, you're plan on driving 30 minutes or so. You know, I mean, it's just, we just don't have that stuff. I mean, there was a Kmart up here at one point, but it didn't make it, and it went under. So that's, I guess, the only thing. I mean, there's a lot of benefits to it, but I guess that I would say the few things is that it, you know, it lacks some of the areas that you want to go, whether it's restaurants or shopping or stuff like that. And some of the stuff could be a little more expensive up here too, because it is a little more rural. So I would, you know, definitely take that in consideration.
Okay, so my fourth con will have to be that we have a water treatment plant heading towards one of the communities in Ramona.
This community.
This community, yes.
San Diego Country Estates.
Yes, if you are coming up Wildcat Canyon and you make a right on San Vicente.
I love how you say that.
Thank you. You will see a water plant on the water treatment plant on the left-hand side, but before you even see it, you will smell it, especially during the summer when everything in that treatment plant heats up and warms up. The smell is just really, really bad.
It stings the nostrils.
Yes, it really does. It's horrible. So coming into the San Diego Country Estates and leaving the San Diego Country Estates, you will smell it during the summer. During the winter, you don't have to worry about it too much. It cools down.
Yeah, it's not as bad. Just make sure your windows are up during that time. There's times where we'll go out for a ride on the Cafe Racer or our street bike, and if you're not paying attention, you come around that corner and it's just like a punch in the face with a turd. It catches you off guard really sometimes, and definitely, but you know, you take the good with the bad, I guess, for sure.
You'll think of us when you drive through there.
Yeah,
if you happen to come up to Ramona.
My fourth con is going to be the public schools. It's just, you know, because we do real estate, we have to be aware of this because we have a lot of clients that are looking for homes in specific areas because the school ranking is great. You know, I mean, it's, you know, you got the Poways, the East Lakes, the Otay Ranches, and even Santee and stuff like that still has great school districts or school rankings. And Ramona is just pretty average, you know, and it's not to say that it's bad. And I don't even know how they rank the schools or what's justified to give it a score. Because the teachers are great. I mean, you know, our kids enjoy their school. They do well in their classes. The teachers are great that we meet with. But as far as the scores go, you know, they're just average. So I wish we had a little stronger school system up here.
So my fifth con has to do with Drake's as well. Me. Yeah, I did. And we do they are good schools, but they're just not 10s. And the schools have amazing teachers, and you know, everybody's great there, but they're not 10s. We just wish they were 10s. And I could
nines are okay too.
Even nines are good, but they're not even 9s. But just to give you an idea, James Dukes Elementary is a 7, Barnett Elementary is a 5. Olive Pierce middle school is a 5, and Ramona High School is a 7. So that gives you an idea of what and where they're at.
That's a good point.
Yes. But
my fifth and final con are the roads. There's only like 3 roads into Ramona. I mean, if you're coming from East County, you got Wildcat Canyon or the 67. If you're coming down from North County, typically it's the 78 coming up here. And neither of them are great roads. And, you know, Ramona is known for its dangerous roads. And I wish it wasn't like that, but unfortunately it is. And we have, you know, kids that are of driving age that, you know, you're always concerned whether they got to work okay or they got home safely and stuff like that. And, you know, there's times when it's later at night or raining, we don't take Wildcat Canyon, you know, because people just don't pay attention and that road gets slick and people blow out the corners and end up, you know, in a tree or something. So that's one thing that I really wish could be improved on. And they have on the 67, they've done some widening and some improvements and stuff over the years, but it's still a dangerous road. I mean, there's, you know, if there's an accident on it, typically they close the road and you got to go all the way around, and you know, it's just an inconvenience. But obviously, unfortunate for whoever's in the accident. It's just sometimes you know, you gotta be somewhere, and then all of a sudden the road's closed and you got to go all the way around to, you know, the other alternate route. So that was one thing I wish we could improve on for sure, especially for the safety of, you know, our kids and everybody that, you know, drives in and out of this place, for sure.
But overall, I want to add that overall, I mean, Ramona is great. We love living here, and there's, again, just so much to do. So I wanted to add.
I agree, and this is new to her, and she, you know, she was Little Italy and Fashion Valley area, and I brought her up here to Ramona, and you know, I'm sure there was a little culture shock at first, but now, you know, now she wants like 40 acres and goats and everything else. So,
I really do.
which I love, because I want to be, you know, further out as well. But, you know, we really appreciate to be able to do these videos for you guys, and we really appreciate the support, and hope we can provide value for you. We really like doing these videos. It's a learning experience, and we just want to be able to help you answer the questions that you may have. And if there's anything we can provide for you, please leave a comment in the bottom or below. And as always, we just ask you to please subscribe to our page or our channel. It supports our channel, allows us to keep going and growing, and we just hope to provide continuous content for you weekly, and hopefully you find some value here. So thank you so much, and Denise and I really appreciate your time watching this video.
Thank you so much.
Thanks again. We'll see you soon.